and today we're talking about what it takes to prep and play for Eagle Brook Church on the weekends as a guitar player. This could also apply to other churches you might be playing at, but I'm going to give you 3 principles, and I really think that if you work at these, you will be unstoppable. So let's dive into these 3 principles. Here we go. Alright, so number 1 is learn the parts. Now when you're listening to the MP3s of the songs that you're prepping, you'll often hear very specific guitar parts being played on those songs. And generally, those parts are written for specific reasons. A guitar sits in a specific frequency range, and it has to fill a specific kind of space in the mix. And so those parts are written to fill that space. So they're very specific, they're there for a reason. And something you'll also hear is guitar parts that are happening at the same time as vocal melodies. Those are very specifically written because it can be very easy for a guitar to overpower the melody or get in the way of the melody. So a good part generally is kind of dancing around the melody and supporting it, filling the space around it rather than taking over so that the vocal is supported. So in the event that you can't quite hear a specific guitar part and you got to make something up, just ask yourself the questions. Am I listening to the band and am I filling the correct space? Am I supporting the vocal rather than getting in the way of the vocal? All good questions to ask. You want to be a support. You don't want to take over the whole mix. Alright, number 2 is adhere to the genre. I was 14 years old when I started playing in worship bands. And at that age, all I wanted to do was shred. And worship music was boring. So, I added my own flavor to it, added a few riffs. So whether you're in a worship, pop, jazz, metal, whatever kind of band it may be, you should always have the genre of your context in mind. And you should ask yourself, how should I approach my gear, my choices, my tone, as it pertains to this style? Worship is a very specific sound, and the most successful guitar players are the ones who study the specific genres and learn how to fit into them appropriately. So as you're prepping for the next Eagle Brook weekend, really pay attention to the genre, the style of worship guitar, and don't fall into the trap of, this is too easy, I'm just going to add my own flavor to it. Learn the style and own it. Alright, number 3 is play with authority. So most of us know at this point that worship guitar parts are generally very simple. However, playing simple doesn't mean that you shouldn't dig in. There's a really big difference between playing simple but timid and then playing simple but with authority and confidence. So when playing those simple parts, learn to dig in and let those pickups sing. I believe that most of your tone comes from your fingers. So dig in, let your confidence be heard when you play. So to recap, learn the parts, adhere to the genre, and play with authority. Like I said before, if you can work on these 3 things, I really think that you will dominate as a guitar player at Eagle Brook Church. I hope this was helpful for you. Stay tuned to this channel for more content, and we'll see you next time.